Hello students, today we are going to read a very interesting story written by Ruskin Bond, who is a very famous and renowned author. The story's name is The Thief's Story. So the name of the lesson itself is The Thief's Story. So it is very clear to you that this particular lesson is about a thief. Okay, so let's move on. It's really interesting. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind, and simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had luck or fate and thought I might be able to get into young man's confidence. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Hari Singh, I lied. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work with you, I said. But I can't pay you. I thought over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. I asked, Can you feed me? Can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. So here we see an interesting encounter between both of these people. So one person is 15 years old, which means a teenager, most probably of your age, and another person is 25 years old. So here I was still a thief when I met money. And so here the thief himself is telling the story. What is he saying? He met a person called Anil, and at that time he was still a thief. And how old was he? He was 15. And he was very experienced and fairly successful hand. So he was good in robbing people. Now here, at what moment these two people got to know each other or got to speak to each other was Anil, this person who was 25 years old, was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. Wrestling, I hope all of you know, where two people wrestle. You might have seen in WWF, or if you have watched this movie Dangal. So in that also you see wrestling. So what was happening there? Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind, and simple enough for my purpose. So what sort of a person and what sort of physical appearance he was is explained here. So he was a tall, lean is thin, and he was very easygoing, a very simple, easygoing, who's not very strict, whereas very casual and simple person. So he thought, okay, since he looks, a young man, and he looks very easygoing, and he's kind and simple to look at. So he felt, okay, I can do something with this person. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into young man's confidence. So he said, of recent, I'm not able to get anybody into luck of late is not really able to be positive in what he is doing, but probably he's trying, but it's not working out. So that is what it means. You're not able to be lucky of late. Of recent, of late is nothing but of recent, in recent times. So he's not able to be really lucky in making friends or in making, getting good confidence from people, from strangers. He's not able to do that of recent. And thought I might be able to get into. So he thought, okay, this young man who looks simple and nice and kind, probably I can get him into my confidence. Confidence is nothing but where you make the other person believe you, okay? Either through your words or action. So you look a bit of a wrestler yourself. So this young boy, 15-year-old teenager, the thief, he tells Anil, he says because he has to make him friendly, isn't it, somehow? So the first sentence, what he says is, "You look a bit of a wrestler yourself," I said. Imagine a young, tall, thin fellow looking like a wrestler. It should be a joke because wrestlers are well built. So this boy, since he was small, a teenager, didn't know what to say. So he started off with this sentence. He said, "You look like a teenager, you look like a wrestler yourself." So a little flattery. So he feels, this 15-year-old feels, the thief, that when you flatter people is when you praise them. Okay, when you praise the, oh, you look pretty, you look beautiful, oh, the way you speak, the way you talk, it's wonderful. So that is called as flattery. So he says a little bit of flattery helps in making friends. So what did immediately Anil say to this boy? He said, "So do you," he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. So now, when Anil told the thief, "Even you look like a wrestler," this boy was little like, what? Me a wrestler? Because he was thin. Okay, so now, but then I said modestly, "I do wrestle a bit." So now the thief said, "Well, actually, I do wrestle a bit. Even I fight, I do wrestling." Modestly, very humbly. "What's your name?" So now Anil asked him what's his name, and then he says Hari Singh, and that was a lie because he's a thief and he keeps changing his name every month. Why does he do? So that he can get away from police or his previous former employees previously who had employed him or given him job believing him, and he might have probably cheated him or robbed them away. So after this introduction, what happened? Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting and throwing each other about. So after this introduction was done, Anil was explaining probably he loves wrestling matches a lot. So he was speaking of how, these well-oiled, well-built wrestlers, they grunt, they shout and they lift and throw each other, every moment of that. Like how you people probably explain about cricket. So the same way he was admiring and he was enjoying. So he was speaking about the match to Hari Singh. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. So this boy didn't really have much to say because that was not his concern or interest. So later on, after speaking this, Anil walked away, and this boy, Hari Singh, also followed him casually. And again he said, "Hello, hello again." See, so somehow he wanted to go with Anil, he wanted to make friends. So he can't stop there, isn't it? He has to go on talking to him and talk to him whether he can work or, be with him, something. I gave him my most appealing smile. "I want to work for you," I said. So when Anil said hello again, Hari Singh said, with a very, nice smile where you can convince people with that smile. He said, "I want to work for you." "But I can't pay you." So he said, "I can't pay you." Then he thought for a moment. Now this thief was thinking, if he doesn't give him money, what's the use of working? But then by the time he was thinking of all this, he said, Hari Singh asked Anil, "Can you feed me?" Then then Anil asked, "Can you cook?" And again Hari Singh lied that he can cook, but in reality he didn't know how to cook at all because he was a thief. And he was just robbing and moving off. He didn't have his house or he didn't have anybody of his own where he could go cook or do something. So he used to just rob, stay somewhere, eat somewhere, sort of a nomadic life. Then, so after this conversation where Hari Singh says, "I can cook and all," then Anil said, "Okay, fine. If you can cook, I can feed you. I have no issues. Come, let's move on." So now he took me to his room over the Jamna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night Must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around smiling in my most appealing way and he couldn't help laughing. So now after they went home, now where did they stay? There was a sweet shop, and on top of the sweet shop was a room with a balcony. So here, after they went there, Anil asked Hari Singh that you can sleep in the balcony. Now they cooked the meal. Hari Singh cooked the meal for both of them. And what Anil did, he took that meal and he gave it off to the dog. Why? It was so terrible. The food was really bad, which easily showed that Hari Singh didn't know to cook at all. So now Anil said, okay, get lost from here, enough, go away. I mean, your food is so bad. But then what happened? This boy didn't move away. He was just around there, walking about here and there, smiling. And that is when Anil couldn't help laughing. So he patted on his head and he said, okay, never mind, I'll teach you to cook. He also taught me to write my name and he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. So Anil was a real kind person. So he said, okay, don't worry, I'll teach you to cook and I'll even teach you to read and write and even teach numbers. So now Hari Singh was very grateful because that is what he wanted. See here, Hari Singh had a dream where he could be like an educated person, where he could read and write. So he wanted to get associated with some person who can help him to read and write. So now when Anil on his own said that I will teach you and all that, he was really happy and he felt very grateful. Do you understand that? So here, as he felt very happy and grateful, I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about a rupee a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. So now Hari Singh started to stay with Anil and they were getting along really well. And in the meantime, Hari Singh knew learned how to make tea, and he used to go every day buy the daily necessary things for the house. And when he used to go to buy this necessary thing, he used to make a profit of 1 rupee, which means he used to keep this 1 rupee aside for himself. And he felt that Anil knew it, but he didn't mind. He ignored it, though he knew that 1 rupee was taken every day. He didn't say anything to Hari Singh. Now, Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check, but as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. One evening, he came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had done nothing in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door, and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met. So now, how did Anil make his living? So he used to make his living by fits and starts. In what way? He would borrow 1 week money and then lend the next week. Understand? So he was also making money by borrowing and then lending to people. And then he kept worrying about his next check. But as soon as how he used to get money apart from borrowing and lending was he used to write for magazines, probably write articles or stories or whatever. So he used to write for magazines and used to get money. So he used to worry if he used to not get the check. But once he used to get the check, he used to go out and celebrate. So now, as far as Hari Singh is concerned, he felt writing for magazines and earning money is very queer, very strange. So he felt, how can somebody make a living by writing for magazines? Don't you think that's strange? So to Hari Singh, who was a thief, he felt making a living by writing to a magazine is strange. But actually, in reality, it's decent. There's no harm in that way. One evening, he came home with a small bundle of notes. So one day in the evening, Anil came home with a small bundle of notes and he was very happy because he sold a book to a publisher. And at night, he put that money under the mattress. You know, you sleep on the cot, isn't it? So there's a nice, soft, fluffy thing that's a mattress, okay? So he puts the money under the mattress. Well, mattress can be soft and hard also depending on what type of mattress you use, okay? So he put the money under the mattress and then they continued now. Now, at this point of time, Hari Singh has been working with Anil for almost a month, and then Anil had trusted Hari Singh a lot. He also gave another key of the house to Hari Singh, and where he could come anytime and go anytime. And coming to Hari Singh, he stopped stealing, and the only thing what he used to do as a thief, what he was in his past, he used to just take this 1 rupee every day during the daily supply shopping, or else he has not done anything, though he had an opportunity because the keys was with him, he was alone, he knew where the money was, everything. But here Hari Singh was trusted a lot by Anil. So Hari Singh also felt Anil was the only person who trusted him so much. And Anil was the most trustful person whom he had ever met in his lifetime. And that is why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. So now Hari Singh was very attached now. He was getting attached to Anil because Anil was a very kind man and he was so trustful. And he felt like, in reality, he will see. I think it's so difficult to rob good people because with a greedy man, they are greedy for money, they count on everything. So he feels happy to rob a greedy man. But here, Anil being such a nice and kind person, he felt I can't rob such people because you can't even enjoy that because they don't mind. They don't even notice that you have robbed. They're so good. So he says robbing a greedy man is something which he can do, and robbing a selfish man is something which is fine. But it's so difficult to rob a careless man. Careless man is nothing but Anil because he trusted Hari Singh so much that he didn't mind even if 1 rupee was gone or whatever. He just ignored it. And this made Hari Singh feel not enjoying or not wanting to rob. Well, it's time I did some real work, I told myself. I'm out of practice, and if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. So now Hari Singh's mind started to think in another angle. After seeing the bundle of notes, now his mind started to go crooked in a negative way. And the thoughts that were coming in his mind were like he thought, okay, now let me rob because I've not done it past a month and I'm totally out of practice now. And he says, if I don't take money, and he feels, see, Anil is anyway, a careless man, is kind, good, fine, but again he'll go spend it with his friends. So rather I take it and go away. And anyways, Anil is not paying me any money, so why not? It's almost a month, so why not I take it away? So with this thought, what he does he rob? Is in the story now. Now Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine was mostly scars. So now here, it was night and Anil was already asleep, and a beam of moonlight, it's like a ray of light as it was dark night. We all know that the moon is out in the sky. So the moonlight, as it fell on him in the balcony, what did he do? He sat up on the floor, and now it was the right situation because Anil was asleep, and even if he had to rob, it was a good situation. And he was calculating, let me say if I took away the money now, which train can he catch? He can catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. So he could immediately move away from here where he wouldn't get caught. So slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. So now, as I looked at Anil's face in that moonlight, it was nice and clear. But the face of Hari Singh, he compares. It was, there were so many lines. And what were those lines? They were actually scars. When you get hurt or when you fall and when it gets, scratched up or something. What happens? A scar forms, or a mark that is left out after a wound is a scar. Okay. So he said, my face has so many scars compared to Anil. Now my hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes to my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees and 50s. I could live like an old rich Arab for a week or two. So what did he do now? As all the evil thoughts cropped up in his mind, now he wanted to rob money and go away. And he wanted to cheat this person who had given him life, trusted him so much. So immediately now what Hari Singh did, he took the occasion or the situation as an opportunity to rob Anil, and he put his hand under the mattress. He slid it and he took away the notes, and as he was about to take it out, almost, Anil turned his way, but then he was quick, so he pulled out that bundle. And what did he do? He was on the road and he hid the money in the string of the pajamas, walked to the station, and then before that he started counting the money. And how much was that? It was 600 rupees in 50 notes. So now he was thinking, oh wow, I can live like an oil rich Arab for a week or two, which means he could have a rich life, comfortable life for a week or two with that money. He didn't have to rob or he didn't have to struggle to eat and live. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than hell. And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's face when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich showed anger, the poor showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly, it was early November, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Anil's money. In the morning he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences I knew could one day bring me more than 100 rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. So here, he successfully stole the money and he went to the station, and now he was there standing alone. So now as he stood there in the deserted platform, deserted which was totally without people. So here he was standing there, and he didn't know what to do because where to go, where to spend his night, whom to speak to, because he didn't have any friends either, nobody of his own, and he felt believing friends is more trouble than help. So now he didn't know what to do as he was standing there alone in that empty platform without people, and as he was thinking where to go, what to do, where to sleep, whom to ask help for, all these thoughts as they were cropping up in his mind one after the other. And now he was thinking, shall I go and stay in a small hotel near the station, or what do I do? And when he was thinking all this, this thought came again to his mind. The only person whom I knew was Anil, whom I had robbed. And now he started walking to the bazaar. He left the station and he went to the bazaar. And then he was thinking, in his short career as a thief, he has made a study of the faces of people, of men's faces. And he could, really make out if a greedy man lost something, his face showed fear. And if a rich man lost something, it was anger. And if a poor man lost something, he accepted, because why are all these things, these emotions. This is a beautiful description also. When a greedy man loses something, he shows fear. Why fear? Because he wants everything. Now a rich man anger because he has earned for it, so obviously he gets mad when he loses something. Now poor man shows acceptance because he has not got anything in his life and he always has lost something or the other. So he says, okay, this one also is gone, forget it. Acceptance. So now as he was thinking of all this, now he was thinking of Anil, and he felt, how would Anil's face look like? How would he, when he knew that his money has been robbed, and by whom? By Hari Singh, the person whom he had trusted, whom he had given a living shelter, and he almost considered him as his friend. So how would Anil react? So he could imagine Anil's face, very sad. And why sad? Why his face would be sad, or why would he feel sad? So here he's trying to tell us, Anil would never feel sad because he lost money. He would feel sad because of the loss of trust. He has trusted. He trusted Hari Singh, though he knew that he was a stranger, and he knew that he would take 1 rupee every day by buying things. Of all these things, Anil still trusted Hari Singh and kept him with him. And today, when Anil would come to know that this person whom I had given life and shelter has cheated on me, has robbed me, he would really feel very bad and probably lose trust on mankind. Now, as this guilt, now what are all these feelings? So, these are the feelings of guilt. See, when you're doing something wrong, see, as kids, I think even with your parents, if you're telling a lie, see, let us say you have got less marks, or you didn't study, you didn't perform well, or you have gone somewhere to your friend's place and you're telling a lie. I think somewhere within yourself you would feel, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I telling lie to my mom or dad? Isn't it? You would obviously have this feeling. At that moment, to get away, you would say something to your mommy and daddy. You would say, no mommy this, or no daddy, I went here, I went there. Probably you could get over the situation. But do you think that your conscience, your inner self is happy with that? Outwardly you're happy. You could convince your mommy and daddy and, didn't get punished or, beaten or whatever, or shouted. But within yourself, you know that you have done something which is not right. Rather, you should have told them the truth. Or you can tell them and go. Why do you have to even lie? Isn't it? So it is always good to take confidence, which means giving confidence to your parents by telling them, yes, mummy, I had gone there. I know it is something wrong, but I didn't want to lie to you. Probably they would shout at you. Probably they would scream at you, or probably even, give you a smack. But that's okay. That's no harm than lying. Because tomorrow, if your parents come to know that you had lied to them on any pretext, whether it is a silly one or a serious one, they would feel bad, because I think at the end of the day, parents are the only people who take complete responsibility of your good and bad in life. No matter how bad a child is or no matter what mistake a child does, parents never abandon them or they never leave them to suffer. So it's very, very important when people trust you to keep up the trust. And don't even hesitate to tell the truth. You don't have to such people, especially who trust you, you don't have to hesitate. You can, if you can't tell them, at least write to them, but tell them the truth. Don't lie. That gives them immense of confidence. They will know that no matter what happens, you will always do the right thing and you will always tell the truth. They won't be surprised, uh, you know, with other people telling them, your son or your daughter, I saw them here, I saw them there. That is a worst thing for a parent, isn't it? So it is always good. If they don't like, don't do it. Anything that your parents don't like you doing, don't ever do that. I mean, why do you have to do something that hurts them? Rather, if you really want to do, convince or take them along. But don't do something wrong that can cause a hurt by trusting you. So as you are growing, as you're in a teenage, and tomorrow, once you pass out, you'll be in this outer world, beautiful world, which is so colorful and attractive to you. You would imagine things like how you watch in movies or whatever, but life is totally different. It's not like what you watch in your TVs or in your mobiles or whatever. It's totally different. You have to be very realistic, very practical, very hardworking. Life doesn't go as you imagine as kids. So here, I take this opportunity to tell you, please don't break trust with anyone, anybody who trusts you. Even if it is teachers. If you've got less marks and if you have not studied, you have to be able to tell, ma'am, I have not studied, but I will put my effort. You don't have to lie. At least a teacher would know you didn't study, rather than saying, ma'am, I studied and I don't know how I lost marks. That would be the most silliest thing to do, isn't it? So to your elders, to the people who trust you, try to be sincere to them. It may hurt sometimes. Telling truth can hurt, but in long term, you will always have a very good relationship, a very happy and content relationship. So make sure that you're true to yourself and to your parents and elders or anybody who trusts you. That's very important. So we get back into the lesson now again. So as Hari Singh is again fighting within himself, and again this guilt feeling of cheating on the person who trusted him. Now he sits in the Maidan, is nothing but the ground, and he sits on a bench in the ground. And that night, it was November, so it was nice and cold, and it was early hours of the night, and it was drizzling. Now this drizzle, see, when it's already cold and it starts to drizzle, it's most uncomfortable because you feel all the more cold and wet. So now it started to rain heavily again, and Hari Singh's shirt and pajama got wet and they stuck to his body, and there was again cold wind. So added to the rain, the cold wind. Imagine how horrible the weather might be. Now he went back into the bazaar and sat down the shelter of the clock tower. Since it was raining, from the ground he ran and sat at the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. So as he sat over there under the shelter, not to get wet, he took the notes and saw that they got wet. And they got wet. They were damp, means wet. Now Anil's money. He was thinking, oh my God, Anil's money, they got wet. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. So here, what happens? As he looks at the money, he feels, oh my God, Anil's money. If only I would have been there, not taken the money. He would have given me 1 rupee or 2 rupee or whatever, and he would have asked me to go for a movie. It would have been so nice. And he would have taught me how to read and write. And if I knew how to read and write, I would have been such a nice person, and I could, as an educated person, I could get many more hundreds of rupees instead of, you know, cheating or stealing. So being a big man, a clever man, and a respected man is something more important than, being a thief. So that is what he feels. So he felt he shouldn't have robbed the money, because if only he would have stayed with Anil, Anil would have made him a literate man where he could have been, an educated and a clever and respectful man rather than being called as a thief. So all these thoughts were rolling around in his mind, and he was feeling really bad about all this. And as we know that Hari Singh wanted to read and write. So he felt, I have missed an opportunity. If I only would have been with Anil, I would have been able to read and write. And now he decided, after thinking of all this, and we know that his core intention was to read and write, and that can only be possible if he is with Anil. So now he thinks and he says, I should go back to Anil. I told myself, if only to read and write. So he says, I am going to go back to him and learn to read and write, because he's the only person whom I know, whom I can trust, and who has trusted me. And it is my duty to go back, at least to learn how to read and write. Now, I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you'll be paid regularly. My spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. So here you can see what happened. Anil was there the next day. Now we can make out with this paragraph that Hari Singh went back and put back the money under the mattress, and he slept in the balcony. And since he ran about and got wet and slept late, now even in the morning he got up late. Who got up late? Hari Singh. And by then what did he see? He saw that Anil had made the tea, and he stretched out his hand. Anil stretched out his hand towards Hari Singh. And what was in his hand? There was a 50-rupee note. Now Hari Singh's heart sank. Sank why? He was scared. He thought, oh my God, I'm done. He knows that I have robbed. So he was feeling really bad. I thought I had been discovered. So he thought, done, I'm caught now. He'll throw me out. Now he was thinking, now Anil told, I made some money yesterday. Now you'll be paid regularly. So Anil told Hari Singh, I made some money yesterday, and from now on I'll be paying you regularly. And now he felt very happy. Hari Singh felt really good, because he thought he'll be shouted at or sent away and all that. But now when he saw the situation, in return, Anil gave him money, and he also told that from now on I'll be paying you. You don't have to worry. And he also, when Hari Singh took the note, he felt the note, because he knew that he had robbed the money and he kept it back, isn't it? So when Hari Singh was feeling the note, he felt that it was still wet with the night's rain. So which means that Anil knew. But what did Anil say next? What was his next sentence? Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. So what did Anil say next? He said, Hari Singh, from now we'll start writing sentences since you already know words. Now, the thoughts that were going in Hari Singh's mind, he felt, oh my God, Anil knows. He knows that the money was robbed and I put it back because the notes are still wet. Isn't it? Any person with common sense or with little sense can know, like dry notes which were kept under the mattress, suddenly how will they become wet? Isn't it? So either somebody would have taken it and put it back, or his mattress should be wet. But here The mattress is not wet, so obviously he knows that Hari Singh might have taken and again put it back. And now the feelings. He was observing Anil's face. And what did he see? He saw that neither Anil's lips nor his eyes, which means there was no negative feeling, nothing at all on the expression. He was very calm, very kind, very simple as always. He didn't show any negative expression and he was speaking very normally. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. So this time Hari Singh, he smiled at Anil in a very appealing, convincing or very nice way. And this time he didn't make it or fake it. Rather, it was very natural, which came out from within. That's what it means. Without any effort means from within. So he was thankful for Anil's kindness and trust, which he couldn't have got from anybody else. So this is the story. So a very nice story about a simple human being and a small boy who's been living as a thief and then how he changes. So the moral of the story is nothing but, I think, if love, affection and kindness, being kind even to a person who is wrong sometimes can help him change from within, no matter how bad you are. But if you're kind to a person, I think things can change. So being kind and good helps a lot. See, you can shout at people, you can hurt them, you can go really mad at people. But I think if you're really kind, trying to understand and giving them a second chance by just being kind and good to them, that makes a whole lot of a difference. So here Hari Singh's life transformed just because of Anil's kindness. He was kind, he was good-hearted, he trusted, and that has transformed a thief into a nice person. So this is the story. If I have to just brief you in small points, we know that Hari Singh is a 15-year-old boy and Anil is a 21-year-old young man, and they get to meet at a wrestling match. And here Hari Singh is not the real name of this boy because he's a thief and he keeps changing his name every month, and he wants to read and write and somehow get in contact with people, and later on actually he cheats on them by robbing them. But here it totally transforms because of the kindness of Anil. So this is a small briefing. So here children, I think as you all are growing into young adults in future and you'll be going out into this beautiful world, you have to practice few things. See, in this competitive world where we are getting carried away with machines and digitalizations and all gadgets around, you have to make sure that your human feelings, being kind to each other, being loving, trusting each other, being helpful really matters. It does make a difference. You have to see that you are growing up as a kind human being, being considerate to others' feelings. Sometimes you shout at your parents when they say eat this or eat that. You can really get mad. Oh, why are you forcing me to eat? Or why are you always telling me this and that? But I think you should understand it's a love and affection, isn't it? Or sometimes you can be mean to your younger brother or sister or to your elder brother or sister. You can be rude to them, but I think being kind does help. So sometimes try to be the other way as you grow up. All these are nothing but learning lessons where you don't have to experience everything in life. You can even transform your character or make yourself a better person by even reading stories, looking at others' lives. You don't really have to experience everything in life. It cannot happen also. So by such sources like stories or videos or the live experiences of other people, you can be a better person. So please be a kind human being. Please make sure that being educated matters. See here, Hari Singh, though he was a thief, his motive was to be an educated and respectable person. So education matters. So a thief, a boy who was a thief, wanted to study because he wanted to live life of an educated person, a respectable life. So as children, please don't ever think that education, why do I have to educate or why do I have to study or do I even have to study further? it matters. No matter what hobbies you have, what goals you have to do something else, but a professional career matters, because you will not be young all throughout your life. If you have to be a dancer or a singer or anything else, it's good to be, but earn a professional degree for yourself, where tomorrow when you grow old, you have something as a backup for you. Understand? Because the same energy levels, the same thing does not exist as we grow older. So this is very, very important. You have to be practical about life. Make sure that you have at least a degree qualification or a PG qualification where you can earn, where you can apply for a job and you can get a decent job. This is very important. And there are so many streams now, whether you take commerce or science or maths, there's so many. It's not only doctor or engineering which is there in today's world. There's so many careers, so many. There's an ocean of careers. So you don't have to be scared that, ma'am, if I'm not going to be an engineer, what my life is going. It's not mandatory. There are so many things. Whatever is your interest, wherever you can fit in, what courses you can study, what subjects you can study, basing on that you can have a decent lifestyle. You don't have to worry what will my life be if I don't study this subject. Understand? So you don't have to panic at all. But with 10th standard, you have to read all the subjects whether you like it or not, because the grade matters, taking consideration of all the subjects. So here you have to concentrate on all the subjects. So make sure you're reading thoroughly, concentrating and practicing. Okay? So write the summary, and make sure that you're writing character sketch. Here character sketch matters a lot in summary lessons, because that way you remember the story and the person as it is also. So I wanted to write the summary and write the character sketch of Anil and Hari Singh. Okay, and I wanted to write how important it is to be educated. Does it really matter? How important it is to be educated, and does it really matter? Okay, so write down this for your homework. Take care and God bless you.